If you've been tapped into the UK and soul scene over the last few years, you already know Sasha Keable isn't just another vocalist floating over moody production. She's one of the most emotionally direct voices coming out of London right now. Born and raised in London with Colombian roots, she brings that cultural mix into her sound. Before Act 2, Sasha built her reputation through collaborations and other EPs that leaned into heartbreak, accountability, and messy love. She's worked within the same alt R&B ecosystem that gave us artists like Georgia Smith and producers like Stormzy's World, that tied to Stormzy's World. Artists who understand that soul music can be both intimate and street smart. Now, career wise, this project feels like a leveling up. She's been touring more, she's growing her international audience and stepping into her own creative control. There's a sense that she's no longer just next up, she's fully arrived. I watched an interview where she is talking about how she really wasn't in a good space before. All the other works that she's done before, like it was like a job, it was like an obligation, it was a contract kind of thing, and like she was really struggling with like just like self deletion type of like vibrations, right? Where mommy was like, I'm not sure if I even want to be here anymore. And I'm writing and producing and trying to tour and stuff like that through that, and trying to make a music through that, right? So she doesn't even really like reminiscing back on that old work. But this project, she says how she is fully in and of herself, choosing life, choosing creativity, choosing her art, um, and it shows. This is an amazing project act. So there was an original project that it was an EP that she put out called Act Right. As a matter of fact, one of the tracks from this project is called Act Right, and it's from that EP, right? There's like a good six, maybe seven tracks. It was a seven-track EP, I think, and all of those tracks are on here. But this is a more complete body of work. She's got all of like those tracks plus like the rest of the like a little bit of the story of this phase in her production, in her the story that she's telling, and it feels complete now. It feels that way. So I'm glad to have come across this before I even came across the EP. I really don't be like listening to EPs because I know they do stuff like this where they embed it into another album where they put it. So I want to listen to it completely. You know what I mean? They might sometimes put experimental songs on there, so you eventually got to go back and listen to the EP. But I thought something like this would happen, so you let this ride and you let it ride and you skip it, and then you listen to the full project and it's like it fits now. It makes sense, and I have a complete and cohesive picture of the art that you were trying to put out. Um, so you got like some dream team freaking stars on this thing from P2J all the way to Rodney Dark Child Jerkins, right? That are producing on. These producers know how to blend that classic 90s R&B honey sticky feel. They know how to mix that with the sharp modern drums and the contemporary rhythms, right? A huge part of the sound is the vocal production on this project. Sasha uses her voice as an instrument, clearly, right? We're talking about layering the choral flickers and the staccato bursts that make tracks like "Heartbeat," for example, which is going to be a little bit mid section of the project. It makes tracks like that feel alive. Um, and what I love the most is that doesn't she doesn't oversing. She knows her range, she knows her limit, and she knows her vibe, and she sticks within that. She is um, understanding how restraint can be a sign of maturity, how it can be a superpower, even, right? There's a cool mix, pared back acoustic moments and experimental textures. It it keeps the album from feeling like a one note R&B project. Man, and that can happen with R&B, bro. That can happen. I was listening to this Brent Fayez joint, and I heard some good things about it before I stepped into it. But I listened to it, and I was like, man, this joint, it just, it just got boring. It just got boring. The lyrics are just so elementary. Um, I only do. I'm not reviewing that project for a good reason. Let's put it that way. It just was. It did. I don't see it. I can't even like. And I try to play devil's advocate, but like I don't see it. I don't see how um, people are singing the praises of Brent Fayez on this project as if it's some like world breaker. I don't see it at all, and I don't think I'm crazy for thinking that. That track "Work" is featuring Beam. Uh, a dope one you should check out. This one is experimental. It's a little bit edgy, but the chemistry between Sasha and Beam, it's top tier stuff. Tell Me What You Want comes up towards the end of the project a little bit. This is the latest single that was released, and it's absolute vibe. It's a vibe. It's slow. The burn is sensual. And she does that little the sexiness of it all. This is her at her best. Tai Chi is the second to last track, the penultimate track. This is a fan favorite. It's got a lot of spins already, and it's this is the official release of this project. I think it might have been leaked before, but it's jazzy, it's smooth, um, it's um, it's perfect for like a late night drive. I would say it's good music to like just sit like sort of set of that sort of like mystique of a vibe, right? A little mysterious. Heal Something is the last and final track on this thing. This is the closing joint. It's quiet, it's vulnerable. It proves that with all her success, she hasn't lost her emotional edge. There are tracks where she leans into the vulnerability, and then there are records where you feel like you're overhearing conversation that you're not supposed to, right? Like over with somebody that you're not supposed to. So it's wide open at points, but it's a little bit closed off. But at others, but you can like clearly see when that happens on this project. Then there are moments on here that are just full of confidence, where she sounds done with the games, and done shrinking herself. This is um, post heartbreak music. This is clarity music. This isn't. There's nothing toxic by about being self-reflective and being sure of who you are and standing on business, right? Um, it's for people who's done the work emotionally, uh, and becoming self-aware, but they still have a little romance in there tucked away. This is a good project to listen to maybe on a late night solo type of vibe. Maybe you did have a dinner party over, a couple people hanging out, but everybody's gone home and you're cleaning up a little bit. You throw this on, this is just for you, right? This is for maybe even if you're like on a flight, you're trying to like just like drift away. If you're on a flight, solo flight, you get your headphones on. You don't gotta entertain your partner. Maybe they're napping, whatever, right? Looking out the window, and you're just thinking about the person that you used to be. The main takeaway I would say is that Sasha is refining emotion into song. Act 2 sounds like an artist who knows her voice and trusts that voice without apology.